that has lost 5 ball games, still looking for their first win of the year, but Kayla Blackshear particularly, how about the last 2 games, back-to-back double-doubles?
She's been terrific, and you just see this young lady's confidence continuing to grow on the offensive end of the floor. She is a relentless rebounder, and Georgia Tech's going to need more of that from multiple players on the floor here tonight.
This is her first year at Tech, started her collegiate career at Alabama, and Blackshear will jump center for Georgia Tech, wearing the whites and in their road black trim with the Duke blue. The Blue Devils, Cheyenne Day-Wilson is their point guard. Scoring numbers are down, but she's got a lot more help this year. A lot of new faces on this Duke team. Celeste Taylor, you just mentioned her, number 0 in black, has really upped her game in the last few weeks. That one ticks off the backboard, but Taylor hunts the rebound.
Yeah, if you're Georgia Tech, you do a really good job of forcing a tough contested shot. You've got to be able to finish that play. Really need to limit Duke's possessions offensively.
Richardson got a good look and buried it. Day-Wilson, excuse me, just shooting 29% from 3, but nailed that one. And head coach Nell Fortner going back to what was her starting lineup for a couple of games, beginning at Louisville, 3 true freshmen in there.
Yeah, these are 3 freshmen who really play well together. They play at a different pace. And Nell Fortner just needing to find some way to get a win in ACC play.
Kara Dunn is one of them. Gets it over to Blackshear. Laredo well short on her 3-point attempt. So that means that Cameron Swartz and Bianca Jackson will once again be coming off the bench. Georgia Tech coming off a loss to Miami. Lost by 9, but they were down 17 at the half and at least made a game out of it.
They certainly showed a lot of promise in the second half. Aggressive offensively, found a way to get some stops on the defensive end, but the consistency or lack thereof for Georgia Tech, and that is the concern for Nell Fortner.
Starting lineup for Duke, starting to come into shape for head coach Kara Lawson, now in her 3rd year. A lot of transfers coming in. There's Kara, our former colleague, and there's you. Our former colleague at ESPN, who is now in charge of this Duke program, trying to get them back to the NCAA tournament. Haven't been there since 2018. There was none in 2020, but still, that's a long drought for Duke. Good defense out on the perimeter, and then tried to get it inside to Kennedy Brown.
Yeah, can't be tunnel vision right there. Got to see the next pass. The perimeter was open. Elizabeth Balogun on the wing.
Balogun has also shown great improvement. Everybody trying to become more comfortable in this system. Adonis, who is not known for her offensive prowess, takes the shot. Georgia Tech last in the ACC in scoring and field goal percentage. Duke at the top in those 2 categories. Brown. Good ball movement. And they got it to the open player in Reagan Richardson, the Georgia transfer.
And that was a really good decision by Cheyenne Day-Wilson. Keep your dribble alive, stay active, find the open player, get high percentage looks.
Day-Wilson second on the team in assists this year, after leading in that category last season as a freshman. There's one of the freshmen for Georgia Tech. And the shot buried by Blackshear.
We saw Kayla Blackshear on Thursday night knock down 3 or 4 jump shots right from that spot. This is a player who wouldn't look at the basket from 15 feet at the beginning of the year. Her growth has been tremendous for Nell Fortner.
Gets another rebound. Blackshear, who Coach Fortner says is just a great kid, works hard, is a leader. Compare her to Kayla Jones, who was a terrific player at NC State, another undersized 4. Oh, Balogun thought about it and then got a better shot.
That's a really good decision by Balogun in transition. She's shooting the ball from the 3-point line really well, but the opportunity to just use that head and shoulder fake and then get to the rim for a high percentage look.
Yeah, and you know that Georgia Tech is aware that she's good from outside at 46% from 3. Duke out to this 5-point lead. Toni Morgan, the true freshman point guard, with the ball in her hands right now. To Kara Dunn, a little bit too strong, but That's what Juana Aranez is known for, her rebounding, and gets the putback. One of 3 Spaniards on this Yellow Jacket team.
And the Yellow Jackets, really good offensive rebounding team. 4th in the league, averaging over 14 a ball game. And when you think about trying to find ways to score the basketball, hustle plays, offensive rebounds, points off of turnovers, and getting to the foul line.
Day Wilson picks up her dribble. Balogun takes a step back over Blackshear.
Pam, we saw this Duke Blue Devil team in November, and the amount of confidence they're playing with offensively right now is just tremendous. Much better rhythm offensively, much better timing, shooting with confidence, really understanding and grasping what Kara Lawson wants on the offensive end.
Yeah, and certainly it takes time, and we've talked about this all season long. The transfer portal has really changed the game, for better or for worse, and it's taking teams a while. And you're right, they look totally different than they did in November. It was in November when they suffered their only loss of the season. That was to UConn. Kennedy Brown with the block. And they came back and beat Oregon State in that Thanksgiving time tournament in Portland. So Duke off to a great start, shooting 57% from the floor. Kara Lawson's team up 5.
Have you seen the new groove?
Had to be a confidence builder for this ball club.
They have held every opponent, all 16 of them, under their scoring average. One of the best in the country at defense. Their three-point percentage offensively over the last 5 games is up around 43%, so really starting to mesh.
Well, and Pam, this is a team that plays incredibly hard. I mean, they're relentless, they play hard, they're active, and they're smart. So they execute their schemes, they understand the game plan. Kara Lawson said, we've had some slippage in conference play, certainly better competition. The teams, we know each other inside and out, so getting back to the basics, talking about positioning, but their effort really allows them to make up for any mistakes that they make.
And when we talked to her pregame, Coach Lawson was talking about that. She was a player at Tennessee who played the same way. Has been very proud of the effort. Oh, there's a shot. Kayla Blackshear. Okay, Duke kids are smart. Kayla Blackshear can hit from over there.
She can hit from over there.
You might want to go over there.
And getting those driving kicks for her to be able to catch and shoot. I mean, this is a player who a year ago at Alabama was primarily a defender and a rebounder. Nell Fortner says she worked really hard on this jump shot. She's shooting it with confidence. It's amazing what happens when you put in the work.
Isn't that something, right?
It sure is.
Work hard.
Speaking of work, that's just a terrific take by Reagan Richardson. Gets an opportunity at the foul line.
Laredo with the foul. Richardson, freshman year at Georgia, where she averaged 15 minutes a game, 6 points. Coach Lawson talked about her becoming much more consistent as a couple of subs come in for the Blue Devils. Saturday, there is a college basketball doubleheader heading your way, starting with Florida State at Pittsburgh at 3 Eastern time on the ACC network and the ESPN app, and then we'll take you to North Carolina. It's always fun when the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels get together. Check it out Saturday on the ACC network and the ESPN app.
This is a concern for Georgia Tech right here. Anytime Duke has an opportunity on a made free throw, made shots to set their press. Georgia Tech challenged on Thursday night against Miami, handling the pressure.
And they had 4 key turnovers in the fourth quarter when they had gotten back into the game. And that's, as Nell Fortner said, that sunk us. Kara Dunn had it taken away.
The thing about pressure is it's not just the turnovers, too. It's when you get rushed in your half-court offense. That was a prime example right there of Kara Dunn being rushed, not making a good decision on the offensive end. And then really good job, Tony Morgan, just getting a hand on the ball and getting after it.
Morgan, the freshman from Tallahassee, had started every game until the last one. Now back in the starting lineup. Had a good second half in that loss to Miami. Katie Meyer's team having an outstanding season. How about Florida State losing to Louisville today?
Yeah.
Gosh, the ACC.
Morgan Jones had a heck of a game against her old team as Blackshear knocks down another jumper.
And Kayla Blackshear absolutely coming alive. She has scored 6 of Georgia Tech's 8 points this afternoon. Already has a couple of rebounds. Day Wilson had it taken away. Georgia Tech team, for a team that has lost 5 straight, 6 of 7, winless in the ACC, a spirited shoot around this morning. They're not hanging their heads, they're sticking together. Just imagine what a win would do for them. Laredo for 3!
Really good execution. And that's the thing for this ball club right now. It's about execution. It's about minimizing mistakes, and when you do make mistakes, playing through them and moving on, not letting them compound, because they have shown flashes of being a really good team.
And a travel gets the ball back to Georgia Tech, who have already scored 5 points off Duke turnovers.
Well, again, execution, setting screens, using screens. Laredo, that's what she does. She can light it up. Of course, the bench is loving it. And this is a team and a program that has always been really solid on the defensive end of the floor. Their offense has yet to catch up this year. Lost a lot from a season ago, new players, new identities, trying to figure it out.
So many key losses for Georgia Tech. Kara Dunn, who is a very promising freshman. Blackshear with another rebound. Morgan guarded by DeJesus now in the game for Duke. That was not a good decision. Taylor needed just a little bit of space to get that shot off, and Blackshear pounding the boards. Duke has been stuck on 11 points for a while, and number 11 for Georgia Tech. Juan Arenas.
Well, what a move. I thought Mona Arenas might have gotten away with the travel right there, but good patience, good poise.
Didn't know she had that in her. Nice little offensive move.
She's been keeping it from you, Pam.
Georgia Tech with the lead. We're under a minute to go. Tied right back up. Might be a Heidi with the bucket.
And that's the thing about this Duke Blue Devil team. Multiple players play double-figure minutes. I mean, they go deep into their bench. They get a lot of production from their bench so they can wear teams down.
Shot clock now down to 5 seconds. It's up to Morgan. Couldn't go in cleanly. Still got the shot off and knocked it down.
Toni Morgan is strong. She's athletic, did a good job of regrouping, staying patient and poised, and finishing that play.
Well, Georgia Tech hot to end the first quarter. DeJesus bottled up. The Yellow Jackets, after a slow start, hit 5 of their last 6 shots from the floor and take a 2-point lead after 1.
Gatorade Fit.
On the offensive end of the floor, but Nell Porter's just searching. She's searching for a lineup that will give her a good start. She's searching for ways to help this team play better together, more in sync, to play the pace that she wants to play. And right now, it's about consistency. Who can be the most consistent group? And part of that, individually, you have to bring it every day, and you have to be consistent individually. And then it's a little bit easier to put the pieces together.
Jordan Oliver, the Baylor transfer, now in playing the point for Duke, number 11. We talked about Duke's defense a lot. How about Georgia Tech? As the shot clock is dying, that's terrific. To Ashlyn Jackson, one of the true freshmen for Coach Lawson. But Duke went 4 minutes and 39 seconds. There was a scoring drop in the first quarter. There you see it, 5 turnovers, translating into 5 points for Tech. who finished the quarter strong on offense and gave up 0 points off only 2 turnovers of their own, which is key for them to hold on to the ball.
Well, one of Karen Lawson's concerns was how this team was going to come out. Like understanding, so we have conversations about everybody in this league can win on any given night. You have to show up with the same energy, the same preparation, the same focus, respect everyone. And this is a Georgia Tech team who is quite honestly desperate, back against the wall.
As you see by their record, Coach Lawson said, and I agree with her, that there's really nobody, there's no dominant team in the league this year, and you can't figure you're going to just show up and win a game. Every night is going to be challenging. Duke, the only unbeaten team left in the ACC in league play. Blackshear, that's a sweet little move to rid herself of Jackson. Off 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting against Miami.
And this is our 3rd Georgia Tech game, and I think that's as many ball reversals as I've seen in one possession.
Wow.
In any of those games, and if they can continue to do that, break down the defense, get yourself great shots instead of having to settle in for good shots or contested shots, that's when they'll start to find some success.
Fortner in her 4th year in charge of Georgia Tech. We have not one but 2 former colleagues of ESPN on
We
this
do, that's absolutely
tonight.
right. You see right here the drive and the kick. Foul below.
Blackshear going to work on that 3-point shot. That's what Nell told us earlier today. Yeah, that's her next step. Like Kayla Jones developed a 3 when she was at NC State playing for Westmore. Blackshear is just a sophomore. Bianca Jackson and Cameron Swartz both in the game. The most seasoned, most experienced players out on the floor. Swartz, a Boston College transfer. Jackson, South Carolina, then Florida State. DeJesus aggressive to the basket and drew the foul. Karen Priato, Mark Resch, Timothy Bryant are our officials this afternoon in Atlanta. Foul was on Nerea Hermosa. Jesus at the line. Every Thursday night, women's basketball rules on the ACC network. Next week, Diamond Johnson and number 11 NC State hosts Miami. Then I will have Duke and North Carolina. Steph's leaving. Should be another good night for women's hoops on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Thursday night, always a lot of fun. Thrilled to be working with Christy Thomas-Scuddy in that game when you go overseas for your other job.
That's right. That's right. 2 great ball games, 2 great matchups.
It's always Duke Carolina in anything.
Oh yes,
right?
No question.
Hermosa, that's Nettie. She has really struggled offensively all year. Hit 8 points in the first half against Miami, and then didn't play with single second in the second half.
Yeah, didn't play in the second half, and of course Nell Fortner talked about that and just trying to find time to get her in when this team was making a run. But right here, aggressive to the rim, and this is what Georgia Tech needs from Nerea Hermosa. They need an offensive presence on the interior. She averaged double figures last year. She is the leading returning scorer on this ball club. She has to be a go-to offensive threat.
Yeah, it's sort of been an adjustment. Certainly not sort of been. It has been an adjustment for Hermosa, who was more of a role player last year, but with Lodemai Lotman and Arella Kubai, Digna Stratmana all moving on. The player that Coach Fortner says is sort of an introvert. It's interesting because Nerea speaks 5 languages, but I don't know if I've ever heard her say one word in any of those 5 languages. She's very quiet.
She is very quiet,
very
yes.
introverted, and Coach Fortner said talking to her about her numbers being down offensively, she's like, I'm okay, everything's okay. Just different. taking time for her to get comfortable. Well, Duke has not had a field goal in the last 3 minutes in this quarter. They have been offensively challenged today. Balogun getting it back inside.
And Pam, just the timing. Elizabeth Balogun was not ready to make the pass when she caught the ball. When she caught the ball, Kennedy Brown had 2 feet in the paint. By the time Kennedy Brown got the ball, she was off the block and out of position. Some of that rhythm, that timing, that understanding of where and when the ball has to get somewhere is so important, and that's where you see the growth that still needs to be made offensively for this Duke ball club.
Kayla Blackshear just picked up her first personal foul for Georgia Tech. Havanaz back in the ball game for Blackshear, who gets a well-deserved rest. She's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. Half. DeJesus, good. From the outside, junior from Valencia, California. Her starter as a point guard in her true freshman season when Duke pulled the plug on their year after just 5 games. And COVID was deeply affecting every team, every schedule.
She had 11 points Thursday night against Clemson. I mean, she is a capable scorer. And again, we talk about the depth of this Duke team. It's at every position. It's not just at 1 or 2 positions. It's at every position.
And Duke has not done a good job scoring from the field, but parade to the free throw line will continue as we take a timeout in a tie ball game thanks to DeJesus.
Yeah, great extra pass. DeJesus was shot ready and knocks it down.
New customers get our best deals on all smartphones.
That's right.
Scoring first against Wake, where she also had a career-high 13 rebounds and 18 points and 11 boards, and a loss to Miami on Thursday. Balogun at the free throw line. The only women's basketball player who is suited up for 3 different teams in the ACC. Georgia Tech here, where she was a freshman of the year in the league, right? And she went to Louisville. Now she's at Duke.
She certainly won't be the last.
Bold prediction, right?
Right.
Yeah, but the way the transfer portal has changed the game. Duke back on top. Morgan. There's some of that stout Duke defense. Blackshear left open momentarily. I mean, she doesn't miss.
Yeah, she's really, really efficient. And what a heady play by Toni Morgan. The hard show, she didn't pick it up. A lot of young players would pick that up right there. She kept the dribble alive. She attacked. She drew a secondary defender, right? And then she was able to find her open teammate.
Jordan Oliver back rimmed it. Good hustle by Oliver to save it right before she ran into the bench. Celeste Taylor's been very quiet. In fact, silent. She has not scored a single point, and there's a travel. Taylor Lawson is like, what the what?
Yeah, I think right there, Vanessa DeJesus took a little skip before her 1-2.
Now the pressure being able to get set up after the turnover. Laredo able to rescue it, but then Celeste Taylor got into her. And Laredo committed the personal foul.
Really good defense, good pressure. Celeste Taylor, we've talked about her offense, but she is one of the best defenders in the country. And Laredo taking the foul in transition. Not a terrible foul, it stops a break.
It's the second foul on the freshman who gets a little advice from Coach Fortner before she sits down. Maria Hermosa back in the game for Georgia Tech. And she right away affects the game. Great hustle by Kennedy Brown to stop the break. Hermosa with the steal.
Great defense. Uses the outside hand, does a good job of deflecting it, getting the steal, and terrific hustle by Kennedy Brown as well to save the play. Didn't give up an easy two.
Yeah, that's the kind of hustle that Coach Lawson was talking to us about before the game. There's a foul by Day Wilson out on the perimeter, and how much she appreciates the way her team, and that's one reason why they're such good defenders, right? They just never stop.
Absolutely. They play hard, they compete at a high level. They can stay fresh because they've got so many bodies and they utilize that depth.
Swartz with the elevation, but it didn't go down. And Day Wilson comes away with it. Looks over to Coach Lawson, who gives her a play call. And that was intended for Brown. Kara Dunn has not scored for Georgia Tech. Gave it up to Morgan. There's Dunn, had a terrific game at Louisville in her first collegiate start a couple of weeks ago. And they stayed in the starting lineup. Morgan. Wow, the gutsy three. Toni Morgan coming into this game was 2 of 18 from 3, and that one barely touched the net.
And one of those 2 was in the 4th quarter against Miami Thursday night. You can see that this team is still playing and gaining confidence, right? And I think that when you've struggled in conference play, when you're trying to find a way to get a win, it's really easy to fold. And this team continues to battle, they continue to work, they continue to play together.
And a moving screen called on Hermosa.
I mean, ball comes back out and Toni Morgan sees the hand is down, the shot clock is depleting, and she just steps up and nails it.
What you're looking at is a team that is unbeaten in the league versus a team that has not won a game in the league, and the Ofer team is winning.
No, I think Georgia Tech is just doing a really good job of, number one, taking care of the basketball offensively, giving themselves a chance, moving the basketball, and locking down on the defensive end. They are making things very difficult for Duke in the half court.
Duke only has 7 field goals in this game and 10 turnovers. There's a Tech turnover. Taylor, nice to Day Wilson. Well, they just can't buy one right now, but it's kept alive brilliantly by Day Wilson, who tipped it over to Taylor, who got her first points.
What a heads-up play by Cheyenne Day Wilson.
Day Wilson, 5'8" sophomore from Toronto. Working hard to try to stick with the Canadian national senior team. Good ball movement again. You're right about that ball reversal. And it pays off for Swartz. Why is ball reversal so important?
Well, number one, it breaks down the defense. You have to get your defense moving. You get them scrambling. But it's not just ball reversal passing around the perimeter. The ball went inside, which causes the defense to suck in as Day Wilson gets an easy 2. And it wasn't sticking. You know, we've seen this team a few times, and players have a tendency to catch and hold. The defense resets, catch and hold. It's not sticking here today, and they are successful because of it.
Aggressive move to the basket by Morgan draws a foul.
You watch this play right here. This is just a great job of attacking. Well, this one, great job of attacking and finding a way to get to the foul line. And we were talking about this before the game. Georgia Tech, a very good free throw shooting team, just not enough opportunities. And these are easy ways for them to get points and put points on the board.
In fact, they are the best free throw shooting team in the ACC. 78% as a club. Anything around 70 is pretty good these days. Morgan with the first miss. Gets 1 out of 2. Inside a minute to go in the first half. Georgia Tech leading number 16 Duke. De Jesus That's a tough shot, the fadeaway, and she was fouled.
And these are teaching opportunities for Nell Fortner. Tony Morgan wants to contest the shot, certainly, but that is a tough shot to make right there. And if De Jesus makes that shot, she's earned it. You don't want to bail him out or bail her out by fouling a jump shooter in that situation.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was a high percentage shot at all, and now she's got the chance at the stripe. Each and every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew breaks down the entire night in the ACC. Coverage you can get only one place, right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Kelsey Muffet, we have Lexi Brown, the Duke graduate.
Ivory Latta has been in the studio.
Yes. Getting some of the ACC greats on the network.
And some point guards.
Oh, I know, that makes you happy,
That makes
right?
me very happy.
They're always the smartest ones, right?
That might be a biased comment.
So an opportunity for Duke to get the last points in the half. Celeste Taylor found a lot of real estate to get her second basket of the game. And Georgia Tech winless in the ACC with a 1-point lead as we head to the studio.
All right, Pam, thanks so much. This is the
points coming from second chance opportunities. And we are underway in the second half. Georgia Tech in the white uniforms, Duke with the black unis, trimmed in their royal blue. Blackshear with the miss. Celeste Taylor, just 4 points in that first half. Missed 5 of her 7 shots. Here she is, right off the bat.
Too easy. That's just too easy in transition. Great job of running the floor hard and attacking the paint, and there was just no defensive rotation by the Yellow Jackets.
The Duke team that is the best defensive team in the ACC against Georgia Tech, who has the worst offensive numbers. Low scoring first half, certainly anticipated for Tech, but as Steph mentioned, Duke has had their issues on the offensive end in this game. Another turnover. Day Wilson gets it to Taylor, around the horn to Balogun. Well short. Ball ticks out of bounds.
So first 2 possessions for Georgia Tech, a contested jump shot and a turnover. Early in the ball game, they took care of the basketball. They got great shots. They didn't have to settle for good shots. And this is one of those areas of the game where they've got to learn on the fly. A lot of young players on the floor, important teaching moments each possession.
Morgan right into the teeth of the defense, and she got fouled.
Well, Duke is so good at just running the lanes, and Celeste Taylor sees there's no rotation, nobody there, does a great job of getting to the other side and finishing.
Celeste Taylor, the transfer from Duke, her second year, transfer from Texas to Duke, excuse me, her second year with the Blue Devils. Here's Morgan back at the line, and Coach Lawson was saying that it's taken Taylor a while to kind of get used to the offensive system, to work her way into it, but praised her for her hard work. And as you mentioned, funny, if you work hard,
yeah,
you can get some results.
Well, it's a growth process. I mean, Celeste Taylor has always been a player who has been so good at getting to the rim, putting her head down and just being faster than everyone else. And at the next level, when you play better competition, when you become a better player, you got to learn to gear down at times. You got to learn to change speeds, slow down. You can see more on the floor, make better decisions.
And she's starting to do that. Her efficiency numbers well up in the last few games for Celeste Taylor. Shot clock into single digits. Day Wilson. Taylor, step back 3, got it!
That's what Celeste Taylor's been doing in conference play. She's been knocking down big shots. She's been able to create space. She's been shooting them with confidence. She's had great lift on the ball and has just hit big momentum-shifting shots.
In ACC games, Taylor at 48% from distance coming into this game, and is 1 for 2 this afternoon from there. Celeste Taylor already with 5 points in the first 2 minutes of this quarter. Scored just 4 in the entire first half. Kennedy Brown gets her first points of the afternoon.
In the first half, we were talking about the timing of that post-entry pass. That was much better timing. As soon as Richardson caught it, she got it right into Kennedy Brown, and Brown was able to go to work.
Brown only had 1 point in Duke's last game against Clemson. That was her first basket today. Duke coming out of the locker room much more aggressive on the offensive end. Era Dunn did not score in the first half. The good freshman for Georgia Tech, Blackshear, doing Blackshear things, but got tied up by Balogun.
You see how much more difficult it is right now offensively for Georgia Tech. Ball is not moving quite as quickly. Defensively, Duke's turned up their pressure. Blackshear trying to get a second opportunity on the offensive glass. But it's twofold. It's one, Duke turning up their pressure, and two, Georgia Tech catching and sticking a little bit more.
They did a good job of avoiding that in the first half. Dave Wilson cut off by Blackshear. Inside, Kennedy Brown took steps. Good defense by Nerea Hermosa, who, unlike Thursday against Miami, is going to play some in the second half. No, I understood.
You just can't let that
no, I'm
go.
not letting it go. I understand why Nell did it. She didn't want to upset the rhythm as they made their comeback, but Hermosa had her what we've seen, and we've seen them a lot this year, her best offensive spurt in that first half. So I was a little baffled, but, you know, I'm not Nell Fortner.
Well, and I would anticipate them looking to get her a touch early now that she's back in the ball game as well.
Known as Nettie to her teammates. Good defense, but gosh, Laredo right there to take it back. Got tied up, but before she was, a timeout taken by Nell Fortner, who wanted to save the possession. Her team down by 4. We come back to Atlanta.
Instacart shoppers know.
Pick in the mid-range. Her three-point shot has gotten much more efficient, and I think that's the decisions. When am I taking them? I'm taking them off of the catch. I'm taking them in rhythm. I'm not shooting step-back threes unless I'm confident.
That is not good coming out of the timeout. Not good for Georgia Tech. As Fortner's team trying to get its first win in the conference. Georgia Tech has won 2 of the last 3 in this series, including a win at Duke last year, but Georgia Tech was a much different team. It's a lot of veteran leadership and talent. That is terrific. These free throws will be coming after this nifty move.
Yeah, that's a great move by Richardson. And Richardson's another one of those players who can get downhill quickly, who is very good off the bounce. And Kara Lawson talks about her consistency is coming. She's incredibly athletic. She's quick in the change of possession. She's relentless on both ends of the floor.
Laredo just picked up her 3rd personal foul for Georgia Tech. We've seen some amazing fans across the ACC. We need your help this winter. The ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. Picture or video, tag it with the hashtag AllTheDevotion, post it to your social, and you just might see it on the ACC Network. Sports! Georgia Tech being outscored 9-2 in this quarter.
Haven't hit a field goal yet.
7-0 run for the Blue Devils, and Blackshear a little concerned as she came down here.
Yeah, rolled that ankle. But she just tightened up her laces.
I love it. Waved them off, said, no, I'm staying. Blackshear, 10 points and 5 rebounds at the half, has not added to her stats, coming out 2 straight double-doubles in the league. Swartz working hard to get open. The BC transfer, but Celeste Taylor who Coach Lawson says is her best defender, with a terrific finish after the steal. Largest lead of the game for Duke rose to 8. Jackson off glass. Coming off the bench for the 3rd time this season. Her first points of the game. She and Swartz are the 2 high scorers on the season for them, combining for 24 points per game, but Duke continues to score on the other end. Balogun.
You see Duke, they just don't panic. They just keep coming at you. They keep doing what they do defensively, offensively. You don't see them really get rushed. And again, you speak to the depth of this ball club. They can bring in a lot of firepower from the bench. They can have a lot of numbers that go after you on both ends, so they're able to play at this pace for the entire ball game.
Celeste Taylor taking over in the 3rd quarter. Mel Fortner has to take yet another timeout. Just like that, Duke's up 10.
They've turned it up on the defensive end of the floor, and it has really fueled their offense. Celeste Taylor gets another 2 in transition. Of getting great shots for their teammates. Duke turned up the pressure a little bit, and you see Georgia Tech on their heels, holding the ball, not attacking, getting a little bit tunnel vision. Even in this possession right here, dribbling into a corner, picking it up, and allowing the trap to come at you.
Yeah, and this Duke defense is not going to let you get away with that. To Jesus, wide open, Corisdale with the miss. Oregon State transfer after she got her degree. Hermosa setting the high screen, but Morgan going the other way. So Georgia Tech, their offense, Kara Dunn has not scored for them in this game. Jackson can score in bunches.
I think this is an interesting look for Georgia Tech to have Bianca Jackson playing off the ball with Toni Morgan. She's a capable 3-point shooter. She can stretch the floor. You know, and just my observations from our 3 games against Georgia Tech, finding ways for Bianca Jackson and Cameron Swartz to impact the game when they're not scoring. You know, when I'm looking at this from a coach's perspective, if they're not scoring, they're not doing anything else. And you need your senior leaders to do something, whether it's assisting, whether it's getting defensive stops, whether it's rebounding, impact the ball game in other ways.
Swartz and Jackson coming off the bench again in this game. Morgan fouled.
She might have been bailed out on that one.
Yeah, I know Carol Lawson agrees with you. She was demonstrating what she thought happened right in front of us. It's the 2nd foul on Heidi. Morgan back to the line. Thursday night is women's basketball night on the ACC network. This week at 6 Eastern, it's NC State right now in a big game against North Carolina, taking on Miami, and then it's Duke, North Carolina, in the nightcap on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Good stuff coming our way. North Carolina right now pulling away from NC State late in that game. Kennedy Brown in the paint. Oh, dribbling right into trouble. Corisdale just took it away. Here's a 3-on-1. Sweet pass from Taylor over to Oliver. Unselfish basketball.
Textbook fast break right there. And that was just over-penetration by Georgia Tech. 1 dribble too many.
Duke with 14 paint points this quarter, only had 8 in the entire first half. Georgia Tech, we talked about how this team can't afford to turn it over, and they're doing it now. Taylor couldn't rescue. Jackson one-on-one with Oliver. Gets it to go.
That's a great take and finish by Bianca Jackson in transition. Got to get a stop right now if you're Georgia Tech, but Duke is really good. When they slow it down, they get executing their offense. So many handoffs, so many split screens, so many actions to defend.
Inside, it's Brown with the chance at the three-point play. Kennedy Brown was scoreless in the first half.
The pocket pass by De Jesus. And this is a good teaching tool for young players right here. Oftentimes when you come off of the screen and roll, you want to throw it over the top. Well, that's where everybody's hands are. It's high hands. You throw it underneath the defenders. Great look, strong finish by Kennedy Brown.
Third foul on Hermosa, who is now out of the game. Brown, 6'6" junior from Derby, Kansas. One of two Oregon State transfers on this team. Duke gives it right back with just over a minute left to go in the third quarter. Duke has hit 8 of its last 10 shots.
Well, they've been getting layups, Pam. Didn't get out in transition.
High percentage shots.
Been getting steals. And, you know, right now you feel like Georgia Tech's offensive struggles have affected their defensive energy and intensity as well.
Well, Kara Dunn still has not scored. Morgan off the mark. Blackshear. First points of the second half.
Blackshear's just relentless. She's already bouncy. She got good bounce. She's light on her feet, and she's relentless on the glass. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league, bringing the energy and giving this Georgia Tech team some much-needed production.
Kennedy Brown's first foul sends her to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Another whistle will go against Georgia Tech.
Loose ball. Looks like Kara Dunn just runs into Kennedy Brown.
First foul on Dunn. Jordan Oliver running the point now for Duke. Good look, and a great result for Corsdale.
Well, Ashlyn Jackson made that happen. She made it happen because when Bianca Jackson jumped out and stopped her from using the on-ball screen, she didn't pick up the dribble. She kept it alive and attacked.
Jackson looking to score all the way. And a great third quarter for Duke as they outscored Georgia Tech 25-13. Turned it up on defense, resulting in some nice looks on offense. And the Blue Devils lead 52-41 as we head to the... And 6 steals alone in that third. Pam Ward along with Connecticut Sun head coach Stephanie White. And Duke trying to remain unbeaten in ACC play before they head to take on North Carolina on Thursday on the ACC network. Mon Adones to Blackshear.
That was the best ball movement and offensive execution that Georgia Tech has had in the second half. Multiple players touched it, and you end with a high percentage look.
Brown left open. Knocks down the shot. Scoreless first half, and she's got 9. And Dunn posted up, trying to get something going on offense for the Yellow Jackets. It's not a good pass. But a few times, though, Duke has given it right back after Georgia Tech turnovers. Hermosa comes in for Juan Adones. Hermosa playing with 3 fouls. She's got 2 points, just taken 1 shot today. Good pressure by Duke. And then the tip ball by Oliver almost resulted in another giveaway.
Duke just does such a good job of having high active hands. You cannot pass it through 2 hands right there. You got to either pass fake, go over, around, or under hands. But Georgia Tech just right to the hands of the defense.
Turnovers piling up. Day Wilson, nice move to get separation. Morgan comes away with it. Jackson slicing down the baseline where she's fouled.
Well, good aggressive take by Bianca Jackson. See the contact by Ashlyn Jackson.
Shot clock into single digits now for Jackson, who was fouled by Kennedy Brown.
Jackson's been aggressive in the second half to the rim. And again, one of those fouls that with just a little bit more discipline on the defensive end of the floor, straight up, make Jackson shoot over the top of 4 high hands. But if you're Georgia Tech, again, getting to the foul line is some easy ways to put some points on the board, to give yourself an opportunity to rest. Again, Duke is shuffling in now 10, 11 players and really utilizing their depth.
Coming up Saturday, college basketball doubleheader on the men's side. 3:30 Eastern, Florida State takes on Pitt. 3 Eastern actually on Saturday, and then follow that with NC State, North Carolina at 5 Eastern. That's coming up on the ACC network and the ESPN app on Saturday. And we have a final in the ACC. North Carolina has beaten NC State on the women's side today, 56-47. It would have been a nip and tuck game. Balogun, hard work paying off.
That was great execution. And even though Celeste Taylor's shot didn't go in, her getting the open shot caused that rotation that opened up the offensive rebound.
Gets the lead back up to 11. And yes, Thursday night, that's the second game of our doubleheader, Eastern on the ACC network. Looking forward to going to Chapel Hill. Historic Carmichael Arena. There's a walk. The Duke bench had called for it earlier in the possession, and they get Hermosa for it. Again, just 2 points for her. Last year, she averaged 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, second on the team in both categories. And this year, her numbers are well down. Coming off the bench now for Coach Fortner. Blackshear interrupted the possession momentarily. Shot clock winding down for Day Wilson. Balogun needs to shoot. Does so over Blackshear. Got the rim, and they have a second chance thanks to Reagan Richardson. Taylor took one in the chops. Foul by Dunn, who's having a frustrating afternoon. Second foul on Dunn.
Those are those possessions that gut you. You know, you play really good defense, you get Duke to take a contested shot, and then you can't finish the play.
Good hands by Morgan, and then the hustle to save it in. Hermosa gets it over to Dunn. Shot clock Winding down, Blackshear, great look from the baseline. Hermosa with the putback.
Great offensive rebound by Hermosa. That was an out-of-area rebound. She pursued it. She was able to finish it. This is where Duke is so good. They're disciplined in this half court. They utilize the shot clock. They wait till they get great shots.
Just like that one, right, by Reagan Richardson. Another player that Coach Lawson used it as an example. Somebody who goes out there, plays hard both ways, offense and defense. Gets the lead back to double digits. Trying to get into Hermosa. Gosh, they just get in the passing lanes, right? And it's very difficult.
Again, they just play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're disciplined to their positioning, high active hands. You know, so many times coaches in practice are talking about get your hands up, get your hands up. Well, there's a reason why. You get deflections that lead to steals. You make passes difficult. Teams have to pass around you, move around you, make yourself bigger.
And those deflections absolutely disrupting the offense.
The attention to detail for Duke on the defensive end is elite.
Shot clock again into single digits. Jackson, back rim. And another foul on Duke. Duke up 11.
Ball movement, player movement, great drive and drift. And how about the patience and poise by Reagan Richardson? Shot fake, put it in. Duke on top.
The only two teams that are still looking for their first wins in the conference. ACC tournament should be really interesting.
Yes, it should be fun.
Watch that one on TV. First year that ESPN is going to have the whole thing. We're excited about that between the ACC network and all of our other networks. Right now, Georgia Tech, you said it during the break, they need to get a run. They had one in them against Miami on Thursday. Do they have one in them now? One pass too many.
Ball stayed on one side of the floor that entire possession. Right now, if you're Georgia Tech, you've got to start these runs with stringing multiple stops together.
James Swartz guarding DeJesus out front. Swartz with 3 points today, coming off the bench again. Very good score at Boston College last year. Hermosa with the rebound. That Cam Swartz was the most improved player in the ACC last year. First team selection. Blackshear couldn't handle it.
Missed opportunities. You get a stop. Got to be able to at least get a shot off. So 2 possessions in a row where there's no shot attempts.
Georgia Tech with 8 turnovers in the first half, 11 and counting here in the second half. Taylor working on Dunn. DeJesus finding space on the baseline when it looked like there wasn't any.
DeJesus is a player who knows and understands her role. She comes in and she's always under control. She's able to facilitate the offense, get everybody where they're supposed to go, and she is a capable scorer. I mean, this is just a terrific play. Great drive, drift, head and shoulder fake, no rotation on the backside, and easy 2.
Celeste Taylor with another nice assist. So the ACC, as we look towards bracketology with Charlie Cream, most teams of any conference, he's got 9 in this league going in. Even more than the Big Ten, which I think is really strong.
Yeah, the Big
Perhaps
Ten
the strongest, you think, right?
I think Big Ten is probably the strongest and deepest, certainly. But you look at this league, and top to bottom, I mean, it's tough. Night in and night out, you see Duke's resume right there. And this league as a whole, the net rating is terrific. It's tough to win on the road in any one of these, environments. And certainly happy for Virginia and what Coach Mox is doing there. I mean, she's really turning it around, and those players are buying in, they're executing.
It's been a while since Virginia was relevant in this league, and it's nice to see him back on the right track. Hermosa with a good O board.
Go back to the Monica Wright days.
Yeah.
Right?
Some great teams. Debbie Ryan was the head coach. Point guard by the name of Dawn Staley back in the day.
Those Dawn Staley Virginia teams were outstanding.
Came up short in the national championship game against Tennessee.
I was at that game.
Really? Baby
I
Steph?
was a youngster, yes. Heather and Heidi Burge.
Clock winding down for Swartz. Great hustle, though. This Georgia Tech team, 2.5 minutes away from falling to 0-7 in the league. But we've seen them a lot. We've seen them 3 of the last 4 games. The effort certainly there, but they just can't break through.
And consistency. Consistency. So we've seen now putting 20 minutes together, right? And then they go through these scoring droughts like the one that they're in right now, 0 for 4 from the floor. Ball gets stuck. It's as soon as a team turns up the defensive energy and intensity, Georgia Tech gets back on their heels. Part of that's youth and inexperience. Part of that's leadership. You know, you lose Lorella Kubai, Lodamai Lotman. Those were 2 not just great players, but great leaders on this team. Helped the team with pace, poise.
Georgia Tech well over 3 minutes without a basket as Balogun is called for a foul. She disagrees.
Have you ever known a player to agree?
Sometimes only the ones who immediately raise their hands.
And that's usually to save a teammate from getting like a
right.
But again, you go back to this Duke team, and not just one of the best defensive teams in the ACC, but in the country.
9th in the nation in field goal percentage defense, 4th in scoring defense in the entire country, as you mentioned. Only loss to UConn.
Yes. 10th in defensive rating, only allowing 0.65 points per possession.
Kennedy Brown, pardon me, with the block, had 5 blocks in the first half against Clemson in their last game.
And they do it differently than a team like Miami, for example, who wants to turn you over, get out in transition. This is a very disciplined team that just makes everything difficult. They keep your percentages low. They force you out of your comfort zone, and they will turn you over for scores, but that's not necessarily the identity. And then you see in possessions like we've had the last 4 minutes of the 4th quarter where they utilize the shot clock, they move it side to side. Smart, disciplined basketball in the half court.
And a finish, and a chance for a 3-point play as Duke has pulled away here in the second half.
It's just a great one-on-one move by Balogun in traffic. Secondary defender comes late, and she's able to get the finish.
That was on Kara Dunn. She's got 3 fouls, no points. As we hit a minute to go in the game. Laredo with the miss, got the offensive rebound momentarily, but Celeste Taylor, who has had a tremendous game, particularly in the second half, has taken it away.
Second efforts, right? Second efforts, third efforts.
Georgia Tech has scored only 19 points in the second half, had a 1-point lead at the break. DeJesus got tangled up with Dunn, who looked at the official and said she hit me in the face, but Dunn gets called for her 4th foul. Tough day for Kara Dunn. Good day for Kara Lawson. Differentiate our Karas. But Kara Dunn, a very promising freshman. You can have days like this when you're a freshman, right? Go 0 for, I know you didn't, but
you're going to. You're going to have those days, and it's finding ways to play through it. Again, finding ways to impact the game in other ways. And that's a growth process for any young player. So good.
Brown Oh, DeJesus, couple of offensive rebounds on that trip for Duke. DeJesus off the bench today with 9 points. And Duke with its 11th straight win, 16th win of the season. They remain unbeaten in the ACC. Well, Georgia Tech struggling there in the second half as Duke put that defense in high gear.
Well, we've seen what Duke has been doing all season long on the defensive end of the floor. They turn it up another level. They stay disciplined to their concepts, their schemes, and then they